When working with or as a subcontractor, communication is key. You must know your role on the job site and communicate it with the foreign crew. In my experience, I only worked with subcontractors, not as a subcontractor. When working with subcontractors, your role is primarily to supervise their work and assist second. This is because your company is the one and which is responsible for producing the right product. This means your company will be blamed if anything goes wrong. Remember, safety is a priority and productivity is secondary while on the roof. My first day working with subcontractors began like any other day. I got into work at 5, then I checked in with my boss, Paul. Paul assigned me to a crew that was working on a factory. The trip was a far drive that went through many neighborhoods. When we finally arrived at the factory, it was located in a very sketchy part of the city. In fact, some of the guys who I was working with had already been to the job site and pointed out a white van that was sitting on the corner. They said that the van had been there for 5 days now and was likely undercover police waiting for someone who worked at the factory to slip up and show there. So, if this did not put a great image on the area in my mind, even though some of the workers were not to be trusted, we began our typical routine of unloading ladders and tools and materials from the truck. Then we set the ladders up and carried our tools to the side. I did not have my ladder legs yet, and the climb to the top was roughly 75 to 100 feet. Luckily for me, I had my handy-dandy backpack, which held most of my tools and my lunch and water. As I climbed the rickety ladder, I thought, God, what have I gotten myself into today? After setting up and being on the roof for around 10 minutes, the subcontracting crew arrived. I have been told by the members of my crew to watch these guys carefully and make sure they did things the right way, which was difficult because I did not fully know what the right way was. First, we began the process of tearing the roof off. The subcontracting crew wanted to tear off the old way, but my company tore off in a different manner. We used a machine to cut the roof into squares, which made the tear off much simpler. Also, the subcontracting crew wanted to do a much larger patch than my company wanted. This is because they were paid by the square, where my company workers are paid by the hour. On a side note, the machine that allows you to do the tear off increases productivity, and I highly recommend it because it also avoids injuring your workers. After helping tear off, our next job was to lay the roof back down. For my crew, our primary job was to supervise the subcontracting crew who would do the bulk of the work. My crew set up all the spots to be drilled, hammered, and laid down, and let the subcontracting crew lay all of the things down. As I was watching them do the laydown, I noticed the glue they were using was a different color than that which we usually used. I pointed this out to my foreman, and he immediately recognized what the crew failed to do. The subcontractors had failed to truly mix the glue the right way, and this would have caused many problems when the roof was laid down. Thankfully, I spotted this out, and it saved our company lots of time and money. That is why, when working with foreign crews, it is important to know what your duty is and do your job. And communicating to your boss and this foreign crew is of the utmost importance.